Hello and welcome to another edition of the Kish Podcast. I'm Emer McCormack.
And I'm Tony Scott.
On today's show, we've got somebody really cool lined up, Tony.
She is someone I've known for, about 10, 12 years.
Oh, and who could that be, Tony?
Oh, she's a singer.
She's a songwriter.
I was going to say she's blonde, but she's had about 17 different types of hair colour in the last couple of years. But she's an amazing individual. She's positive. She's got fabulous energy and she's great live.
And she's a Wexican.
She is a Wexican. She is
yes.
from Wexford.
So we can be talking about no other than Wallis Bird.
Yes, and as always, we started by asking her, who is Wallis Bird?
Oh, lads, I haven't a clue. Well, I suppose the functional answer is that I'm a Wexfordian. I was born in Meath, so I'm half and half. I'm 30. God, I had to remember what age I am. I'm 37 now. I'm a musician, composer, singer-songwriter, whatever way you want to call it. I have 6 records and I love messing. And that's me. Goodbye.
Thanks very much.
I was just saying we couldn't find 3 better people.
That was Wallis Bird, ladies and gentlemen. Amazing.
Yeah, have to go.
And I was just watching TV there last week, I think it was, and the concert orchestra and yourself and the Woman's Heart.
Yeah.
My God, that was just unreal. That was just class.
I'm glad you liked it. Some show.
Did you enjoy doing it?
Oh, I loved doing it. When Eleanor McVoy contacted me to say, would you like to be part of it with Maura O'Connell, I just thought, that is going to be some crack. She said that it would just be the 3 of us. It was kind of her dream team because she wanted to get Maura O'Connell out of retirement. And she said she just kind of wanted... she wanted it small and sweet and funny and... it was mind-blowing. Like Maura O'Connell, she's so funny. She'll say things like, OK, we're going to take a 10-minute break for 15 minutes and we'll see you in 20. And stuff like that. And it's just, that golden nuggets of I've played 1,000 gigs kind of, jokes that you just steal away. But yeah, it was a really emotional show. That album is going to go down as probably one of the most influential records ever to come out of Ireland.
It's unreal.
So, yeah, I would have done anything to be on that show, to be honest. I was really happy.
The feedback, though, online just completely blew up. Were you expecting that response?
Emer, I was. Like, I know what that record means to people because, see, I wasn't involved in the first, what would you call it, the first round of A Woman's Heart. I only became part of it about 8 years ago. Did a bunch of gigs with them in the Olympia. And... that was just me as a blow-in, and at that point, I'd been listening to that record since I'm 15 or something like that. And I know the effect that it's had on people, and I know how sentimental people get with that record, so I knew that the show was going to be unbelievable because it's with an orchestra as well. The orchestra are fab. They're really, really good orchestras, and they're not overtly... particular or snobbish. They're really down to earth, vibey orchestra and fabulous players. So I was like, look, how is this not going to work? So the long story short, I was really, really happy for Eleanor and the whole Woman's Heart team that it did so well. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Sorry, Tony.
I was just going to say that I meeting Eleanor a few years over the years. It's almost like for a long time she wanted to stay away from the whole A Woman's Heart thing. She wanted to sing other stuff because everyone kept saying, "Oh, will you sing A Woman's Heart for us?"
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's your flagship song. I suppose it does have its blessings and curses, but she was afraid that that it could run down the road of becoming cabaret or something like that. And with something like that, it could err on the side of too nostalgic, of course. But we just knew that with the RTE Concert Orchestra, it just wasn't going to go down that route. It was going to elevate it to it was just going to elevate it more into a flagship album, really. So, But yeah, I mean, as a musician herself, of course, like, she doesn't want to be known for just one song. But, I mean, you have to get over that. That's out of your hands.
Yeah.
There's a lot of artists that are just known for one song, or somebody says that that's the best thing they've ever done. I mean, you can't take that away from somebody. You just have to live with that as well. Like,
and for some, it makes them pretty rich.
Back in the old days, Tony, I would say.
Yes. Less so now.
Yeah.
I think it's quite tough as well at the moment on a lot of artists with what's happening out there in terms of this coronavirus and so on. It must be, you know, like you're planning, you know, years and months in advance for various different gigs, and then all of a sudden, you know, the carpet is taken away from you underneath your feet, and now you're kind of faced with, Jesus, like, how am I going to be able to cope for what possibly could be a year, who knows, of not being able to do gigs? How do you feel about that?
For me, I'm always prepared for everything to go pear-shaped. Like, I believe in that phrase, you know, empires always fall. I don't believe in never-ending growth. I don't think that's right. So I've come from being an extremely poor person to not being that. So I've survived poor. I was quite happy poor, and I'm not scared of it, you know. I do believe that money can be a problem as well. That's just my personal view on it. It kills a lot of creativity, and it kills a lot of benevolent characteristics in people as well. So I'm not really a fan of the constant build. I think you have to fall to recognise. So for me, I mean, the only thing that would bother me is that other. Like, I've saved and stuff. You know, I've been frugal for my career because I always believed that I wanted longevity instead of just, you know, to be hyped for a while, because I do have the feeling in my heart that I'll probably die on stage. So I wouldn't have. Yeah, Tommy Cooper.
You're right there, Wallis. Something you want to tell us?
It's went very serious all of a sudden. Yeah, like, I'm not worried about it, to be honest. You know, stuff goes up and down, and that's just the way of life. You can't be too worried about it. You have no control over these things as well, you know.
It's a great mentality to have, because I suppose all of this it's out of everybody's control, so there is no point kind of worrying about it. You just have to get on with it, you know. Growing up then, was there people in your family that inspired you to sing, or did it, you know, where did all this music come out of, this young girl?
My family is, they're all avid collectors of music. My brother Stephen is an amazing singer. My brother Edgar is a beautiful stoner rock writer and singer, and in one way or another we've all done something with music. My father was a DJ and a record collector, and my mum has the radio on and she's singing all day. You know, my grandfather was he wrote Shan No songs to rile up the local politicians in Meath. So I suppose I didn't lick it off the floor, but I think my biggest influence was having the radio on all the time, constantly in the house. I love that, you know, first thing in the morning until the end of the night. You're welcome, Tony. So yeah, I guess I even if, you know, receiving whatever, yeah, all the time, it was always there.
Yeah. Do you know what I'd love to see happen? I'd love to see Mary Coughlin, Maura back again, Eleanor McAvoy, yourself, all the amazing female Irish artists who I believe have such an earthy, beautiful Irish voice in terms of singing. I'd love to see a collective practice happen somewhere in terms of some like concert or something like that, because I think that would just be so powerful. And the one thing I think as Irish musicians, you guys as Irish musicians, not me, well, it depends, 4 o'clock in the morning, like, do you know what I mean? But is the storytelling, and it's the ability to get deep down into someone's soul with their words and with their voice. There's something uniquely amazing about an Irish voice. What do you think?
Oh, you've hit the nail on the head. I don't know what I suppose it could be our detrimental history as well, as, you know, being such a rural land, and being so connected to the earth and no distractions, and being, at one with the earth, and kind of having also very little. I'm reading a book about Ireland in the 70s, only in the 70s, and even when there was mass immigration, there was like so little to do because there was very few jobs and, you know, very little entertainment. So what was your entertainment? You'd meet up and you'd chew the fat and you'd sing songs and make some music together. We didn't even have instruments really. You know, I think that's where Shan Nose comes in as well strongly, because you have to build a story around, with a melody and a timing and a beginning, middle and an end without having any additional instrument in there. It's just your voice telling everything. So that's kind of gives me an insight as to how it might have been from our history. You know, the getting down to the root core of music is just yourself and your thoughts and your performance, how your body sounds.
And do you think you kind of dip into that when you're writing songs yourself? Do you think you have a little bit of that?
Yeah, everything that I've learned or heard before previously will have sponged into me somehow. Absolutely. I mean, there's no way that I can't.
Interesting.
Yeah, like it's just the inspiration. It's not stealing as well. Like there is stealing as well, you know, but we put it under the guise of inspiration. But yeah, every there's that stuff is where am I going to go down now? But it's in your lineage as well. How you all of that. How you are, how you could be in the future. It's all based on your lineage. It's not all based, but it definitely helps, you know. It's all over what I do. Like I'm away from Ireland for I think nearly 17 years now. I haven't lived in Ireland, and I mean I still have my accent. I never left me. I was never searching to change my accent. It did neutralise just because I travel so much, but the music that I write on, particularly on the guitar, is really rhythm heavy because I adored like Jim Murray on the guitar, all of these traditional Irish guitarists that bait the living shite out of a guitar. And
is that where you get it from?
I got it from a couple of places. Barron playing.
Wasn't there a
like
gig, I think, in the last year where you ended up playing with only one string?
It's from practice, actually, Tony, because when I was a kid and I had a guitar, I played the guitar until there was no strings left on it. So if I have one string, that's even more than enough, you know. But if you have no strings, I tend to use the guitar as a drum. You know, I'll sometimes tear the strings off the guitar just for the crack. But yeah, there's needs must.
I was going to ask as well. A lot of musicians write about historic events, and I think in years to come, what we're going through now will be looked on as a historic event. But you're going through it, so does something like this inspire you to write music?
Yeah, it inspires me to do a lot of thinking, reflection, and imagining for what's going to happen. So my brain's going absolutely crazy, and it's almost overload because it is overload. Some days I find myself absolutely wrecked for no reason. It's just so much to take in, and there's so much information to choose from as well. In the age of information and the internet and stuff. But I'm writing like mad. Also, it gave me time to sit down and go through stuff, clean my house. I found a load of old journals. And in the journals from 2006, I found that my writing, just a regular diary, was really pretty writing. It was only for me, you know, but I found the way my mind thought was much more delicate and poetic than it is now, because my brain now, I throw away diaries now. So I think that's made me cop on to who I am, who I've been the last couple of years. I've been using the internet too much.
Haven't we all?
Mindlessly, and it's terrible, man. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's shocking. It is, but it's a habit. It's such a habit that we just get into, and then all of a sudden we're after wasting hours, 15, 20 minutes. If you're cool, young and hip like me, scrolling through TikTok.
It looks very good though.
I'm the same age as you, Wallace, so I just tried to pick myself up, and the same as Tony, so we're all in the same boat.
We're all the same age.
We're all the same age.
I downloaded TikTok and deleted it about 10 minutes later.
Who's there? TikTok, who's there?
Oh, Lord. Speaking of which, knock, knock.
Who's there?
To
who?
To whom?
I think you have to be an English degree to get that one.
You all right there, Wallace?
Oh, God. And that's me.
The lockdown's really affecting her.
She's lost her mind.
The writing is coming on really well then.
The writing's great.
The writing's great.
Here's the new single from Wallis Bird. To whom?
To whom
it may concern. Gaber, and you couldn't beat him with a shtick.
I think we should have a song.
All right.
I gave you free reign to pick whatever you want.
All right.
Better be feckin' good now.
Better be the ones we like.
Oh, sugar. Which ones do you like? Just tell me.
I'll tell you. Don't mind Tony, right? You know,
she should know what I like.
You know that one you sang, or you wrote when you were down in Clifton?
Yes.
Life is long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, time is short. I love that one.
All right. 6 a.m. hotel bed, drunk and laughing our heads off. My mum, dad and I was hugging mum, was hugging dad. And when they started snoring, I started to cry. 'Cause 35, 66 and 71 are we. Stop the time, what a wonderful memory. Like my mom says, life is long as life is long, and life is long as life is long, and life is long as life is long, but the time is short, short, short. Life is long as life is long, and life is long as life is long, and life is long as life is long, but the time is short, short, short. Clifton Town to Galway Bay, Sunday drive in the wild Atlantic way. Overwhelming landscape, spectacular advancing, we pull over to stare, lost in awe and prayer. No goodbyes, drink your pint, and I'll see you in a few short weeks. Like my mom says, life is long as life is long, and life is long as life is long, and life is long as life is long, but the time is short, short, short. Life is long as life is long, and life is long as life is long, and life is long as life is long, but the time is short, short, short.
Oh, fantastic.
Unreal. Jesus, you're deadly. Will you just move into my house and just sing that song all the time to me? I'll be happy out. Wake up in the morning and have a bit of encore, you know?
Life is long as life is long as life is long as.
Where's the snooze button?
Yeah. Oh my God, I see you throwing the alarm clock out the bleeding window. Oh God. What is it you like about a podcast yourself?
Have we turned the table?
Yeah, I love this. Yeah, go on ahead there, Wallace.
Just tell me, Tony. Give me everything.
What I like about podcasts is the freedom to do what you want. And you've a much larger potential audience out there. And there's a podcast literally for everything.
Do you have a favourite?
I do, actually. It's called My Dad Wrote a Porno.
I've heard about this one. Is it good?
It's so funny.
Great.
It's so funny. Yeah, really, really funny. Check it out.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
No, Jesus, it's your show. Go on ahead there.
No. I'm loving this. I also, the three of us are looking out into the ether. I could be wearing anything. You could be wearing anything right now. Sure, this is the beauty of the podcast. And
well, that's it. I think
we could go into part 2. Describe what you're wearing.
Well, I'd say it's a lot of skin.
It's very German.
Very German, yeah. She's into the old skinny dipping and the whole lot now.
A lot of skin and a load of hair.
I want to talk.
Where's the strummers?
I want to talk to you about Deutschland. Do you speak much German?
I do, yeah, I'm fluent.
Oh,
yeah.
look at her boasting there. I'm fluent.
Ich bin fluent, yeah.
Oh,
Ich
yes,
bin
sehr
fluent.
good.
It's in the most Enniscorthy accent. Ich bin fluent, yeah?
Yeah, do you know, like, where did I pull a fart off, yeah?
I know in parts of Germany you do need German, but I imagine where you are in Berlin, you don't need a lot of German to get by.
No, you can certainly walk down the streets, and if you need something particularly. Yeah, well, funnily enough, my mum was looking for birthday candles, and she couldn't find anybody that spoke German, which is, it's actually nice in a way, because it makes people very, very lazy not to learn the language, and it's a spectacular language as well. Look at me getting all serious again.
I love German.
It's really, a lot of people bemoan how it sounds and stuff like that, but functionally it's an incredibly emotive, and it's very, like I said, there's that word again, poetic language. Yeah, some of the best writers wrote in German, and it's really hard to translate it because they use the word that they have, like there's a function of the word, the root of the word, where it comes from, which is usually Latin, and then there is, I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. Then there's then there's the verb of the word, and then there's a consequence almost if you use this word, what it means, what it implies emotionally, which is incredible. I'm sure that if I studied English in my head.
I'm going to practice some of my German now. Ready? Wenn wir auf Deutsch sprechen, immer wird nicht wissen, was wir sagen.
We weren't talking about you, Emer.
Jesus Christ, I'll just leave here now.
I said if we speak in German, Emer won't know what we're saying.
Well, I did get
but that was all down to Google Translate.
I did speak a little bit of German years ago. It was actually quite good. I was doing my work experience in Kylemore Abbey in Connemara, as you do, and I went out there, and it was full of German girls like who I was working with, and they gave me an education in the language and a few other things as well. But like, yeah, it was great. But anyway, that's for a different show.
Yeah, no, I think we're still in this show, so that's fine. You go ahead.
Those Germans. They know how to have a bit of crack now, in fairness.
Yeah,
you know?
They do.
And whereabouts in Berlin do you live, if you don't mind me asking?
I live in Neukölln, which is down the south, but Neukölln's a huge part of town, but it'd be kind of close to Kreuzberg.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, did you just say, oh, yeah? Yeah,
because I used to live for a very short period of time in Kreuzberg.
Nice.
Yeah, I worked there for a startup company for a little while. I was doing a lot of consulting.
I remember it.
Yeah, there you go, yeah. Hunger, it was called.
That food app.
Yeah, it failed. Nothing got to do with me now, but it's just the market. It was actually really interesting. I found the Berlin market really interesting because like there's so many food options to order on your phone, whereas in Ireland you might have only 2 or 3 in the market. Over there you have like 15, and it's like it was so hard to compete in that market. You'd have to do something really, really special, and they all competed against each other in terms of like offers and stuff like that. Like, and sure, it's just unsustainable to try and get the cohort of German people over to use the app, and fundamentally that was a problem. But I loved living there. I loved living there for the very short period of time I did. I think it was like 3 or 4 months. But I really liked that part of town. Yeah, it was great crack. And what I really liked about it was the vibe in that area as well. It's kind of like young and hip, and
it's the only part of Germany I've never visited was Berlin.
Oh my God, you need to have a go.
Never. Yeah, I've been to Hamburg, I've been to Frankfurt.
How many rooms? How many rooms do you have there in the apartment?
Are you asking me or Tony?
Notice how she's still not answering that email.
How many rooms do I have in my apartment?
10, is it?
I have 3 bedrooms.
Oh, that's really cool. And are you still renting, or did you buy?
Oh God, no, I didn't buy it. No, I mean
But buying isn't a big thing in the continental Europe, is it?
Because you can get like leases, can't you, for a certain period? Not like Ireland.
Like you can get lifetime leases in the likes of Germany.
Yeah, you can get a 35-year upward lease here, and the laws are really set in place so that you can't be kicked out of your house.
Wow.
They're really on the renter's side, so it's much more beneficial to be renting than it is to buy. Buying's not really a thing here, which is interesting.
And I heard that they won't allow Airbnb now in Berlin anymore.
Yeah,
I think that's a Berlin thing.
It is. No, I mean, there was, I think, almost 25,000 apartments that were...
Oh, my gosh.
Just going, just sitting empty or sitting overpriced. And it's causing rents to go upwards. And it was... because, like you say, Tony, people rent here for their whole life. People are going crazy because they would have absolute strangers coming in and having parties of a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and they're Airbnbers, and it's no way to live, because the people in the city, as party wise and as crazy as the city can be, it's still very much people live here for a long time, and they're very anti-capitalist and very anti money making here in this city. So Airbnb goes directly against all of that.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's a good thing. Definitely.
It is.
Great philosophy.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. And what do you like about living in Berlin and in Germany? What's the draw?
I like that it's mainland Europe. That was one of the main reasons why I moved here, because I'm a touring horse. I'm always on. I like to be on the road a lot. So it just makes more sense to be on the mainland Europe. So I could drive to wherever I wanted, really. And then I really like the German people. They're nature conscious, health conscious. They don't take bullshit, and they're very practical, and they're very responsible people.
And they're mad for a bit of Wallis Bird.
They're mad for Irish. It's not just me.
Really?
No, it is. It's just you.
Yeah. Yeah, I brought it all over. They're only mad about me. No, they love Irish. I think they find us to be mystic. Isn't that gas? Honestly, there's something, the connection with the Irish people runs really deep here, and I'm still trying to figure out why.
We're all witches and wizards.
Yeah.
As long as you make it a few bob, sure. What harm? Where do they come from? You don't mind. As long as they keep, paying to get into the gigs, happy days.
Oh my God. Yes, I want no information about who's listening to me and why.
Typical marketing person.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. I'll market you, Wallis, don't worry.
Oh, lads.
Come here, Wallis, what was the biggest break you had in your career to date?
Oh, God.
Where you kind of go, oh my God, I've arrived. Jeez,
I love that. Arrived.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Do that again. That was hilarious.
Just make a whole podcast of me saying that.
So Wallis, when did you have your first big...
I couldn't hold a straight face.
When did you have your big career break? And when did you feel that you've arrived?
Oh, lads. Oh, my God. No, my parents are going to be listening to this.
Oh, no.
Oh, mother of God.
We haven't launched it
the
yet.
Angelus.
There is one that I want to say, but in the same breath, I don't want to say it as well, because it's been like major teamwork and tiny steps to get to anywhere. And where I am right now is that I do feel like things are as good for me as I want them. I don't want any more notoriety. I don't need any more instruments. I don't need any more people coming to concerts. I don't need any more than this. I'm really,
You're content.
really pleased. I'm so content now, yeah. And I guess that's me having arrived.
That was actually going to be my next question, is like, would you ever like to play like the Three Arena or, Crow Park or something like that? Like, but I think you kind of answered that in terms of, I think you like that kind of small crowd, intimate, gig.
Yeah, I mean, I've played incredibly large gigs. I played in front of 55,000 people before, and if it's any way that I can get, if you put me in front of people, I'm going to try and sing to them directly. So even if it's just opening at a festival or opening for somebody else or something, it doesn't matter. I'm just always going to try and sing directly to whoever happens to be listening, and that could be like the very farthest reach of the whole stadium or whatever it is. So big gigs, small gigs, I'm happy with whatever it is, to be honest with you. Like, I'll never tire of either. They're both very exciting.
I was going to ask for another song.
Yeah, sure.
My favourite one is In Dictum.
I can't believe you would ask me for that song.
I want you, first of all, before you play it, what is it about?
It's about a good friend of mine that I was planning to be friends with for the rest of my life. Started to act as if they were falling in love with me, and it made my life very complicated, and it made our relationship extremely frail. So I said, look, you're either gonna, the song's about, you either have to pull back, or this can't be sustained, like so. So that's what that's about, really. Well, I'll tell you the truth, as I only do, my friend. I'll be living my youth as I live till my end, my friend. I've been battered and bruised, but it's only a few that have stayed or left. And that's nothing a hammer, a nail, or my mind couldn't cure. But I've left people hang on a stick or a word if their grip grew tight. Oh, the bottles, the battles, the beds that I've shared are all mine. But the more you hold on to me, the less you can have of me. The more you hold on to me, the less I am yours to keep. Well, I'll tell you the truth, if that's what you want, my friend. Sometimes being a friend is not saying a word, my friend. I've been shattered and shoved, and I've shattered and shoved, but my mind is clear. And I've chosen my women, my men, and I've chosen my fears. But I've loved with the marrow that builds up my bones, and I always will. If you're with me or not, all depends if you hold me too near. But the more you hold on to me, the less you can have of me. The more you hold on to me, the less I am yours to keep. The more you hold on to me, the less you can have of me. The more you hold on to me, yeah, yeah, the less I am yours or me. There are devils inside that I'm not afraid to meet. There are devils outside that I'm not ashamed to be. But the more you hold on to me, yeah, the more
Jeannie Mac, that was unreal.
Fantastic.
Oh my God.
Chair going in the background.
One of those songs that, yes, it added to it, trust
It
me.
makes it more real.
That song just gives me the goosebumps.
That's because I'm I
Don't know why. It's just the sound of it.
It's like onions and what gives you goosebumps? It's a cold wind.
Well, you've sent it.
It's a cold wind indeed. But I think it's kind of a song that everyone can relate to. You know, I think that's what kind of makes it really,
Completely.
really special.
Completely.
You know, but
Especially now I know the story.
yeah, that's really cool. And Wallis, we don't want to take up too much of your time now because you know, I know it's getting late and you know you're an hour ahead of us over there in Deutschland. But
I've already been on for 2 hours. That's how time works, isn't it?
Tony, you're a good editor now. You're a good editor. Keep it up.
I know.
But what I really, I suppose, I noticed about your show, your live show, is your energy and the way in which you connect to the audience. Can you just tell me a bit about what that means to you in terms of that connection with the audience?
Well, to me, my father always told me if you're playing in front of no one or a sea of people, you have to play the same gig. So I've done concerts to nobody and I've just played for myself, and I've done a concert for one person and I've played for that one person. So what I like to do is each gig is a brand new opportunity. Anything can happen. You don't know what the people are like. I really love to engage people in the audience. I like to see people unfold their arms if they're like, oh my God, I can't believe my girlfriend or my boyfriend brought me to see this show. I really don't want to be here. I particularly play for those people. I like to cover a lot of different styles. What I like to do is just have a one-on-one almost concert, and with the ideal that we'll never be here again. We'll never be in this moment again, so let's see what happens. And I tend to give an awful lot in the concerts, but it's not too much. It's not more than I can save for myself or anything. It just tends to be a really full, kind of loving show or something.
It's the crack. It's the crack.
It is the crack.
It is the crack. And I don't know where you get your energy from. You are just leaping around the stage, having the bants and just having the time of your life. And I think that's what makes it so special, you know. But your energy, what do you do? Cans Red Bull before?
It's just always there. It's just always there. I kind of put it in because it's always there for me because I'm always ready to I don't know. It's just always there. I can't really explain it in any other way.
You're just special. You're just special.
No, I'm not like that. You're very sweet like that. No,
I can imagine, if I'm thinking right here, is that you're cooped up in studios, you're recording songs, you're thinking things that are coming out of your brain, thinking, is this going to work? Is that going to work? And then you see how good it goes down with downloads and everything. And then I imagine you're so excited to then finally have this crowd of people in front of you to share it with.
Oh, it's endless crack. Especially if I'm trying out something new, like a new idea. I'll always try out new material on the audience because it's a bit like stand-up. The reaction is raw and it's real, and you know if it's working or not. Or if you should develop it, how you should develop it, where the punchline should be, all that kind of stuff. It's very relevant with music. So yeah, put me in front of a room with people, I get very excited about that. I'm like, okay, here's a load of stories. Talk to me, you know.
I love it though. I love the fact that you mix the music with the stories, because that again is uniquely Irish, and it's a great, you know, I think it really just connects you even more to the people that are sitting in front of you, because people can relate. And then you couldn't hear a pen drop in Vicar Street in November. Like that's just class. Like, you know, to go to a gig like that, to experience a gig like that, it's like going to Damien Dempsey is actually quite the same. You know, I mean, he's just a magical voice.
You're commanding the audience.
Commanding the audience, but by the rawness of it, it's earthy. It's, you know, you are there with that artist. It's not, you haven't got like 100 people in the room with you or whatever it is. You're just you and that artist, and that's quite unique.
Yeah, there's something about the space, isn't it? When you, as well, when you're in a room with people that are listening, and then there's a silence. It's like something some kind of magic, some kind of electricity in the air, and then everybody's into that. And the musician sends out I'm going to get all esoteric about it now, but you send each other vibrations, and that's the way it works, you know. I mean, if an artist couldn't be arsed being up there, you feel it. If they're delighted to be there, you feel it. You feel everything off a person. As you know, you walk into a room and there's a weird vibe. You can't explain it. It's just there. And we trust that. And an artist like Damien Dempsey, oh my God, it's like seeing the second coming of Christ when that guy plays. It's like
Mokara.
Oh God.
He's deadly though. He's deadly.
He is.
He's really, really cool. But and you're class, you know, and fair play to you, and you know, for representing Ireland and so many occasions that you have done on so many different levels. It's true though. I'm not trying to, you know, blow smoke up your arse now, like, but.
Have you actually got an idea of what you want to do when all of this craziness pandemic is over?
Dying to swim. That's all I can think about. Dying to swim. Really need to swim.
Come home and we'll give you a bath. Do you miss home at all, Wallis? Would you like to come back maybe one day?
Oh, I'm dying. I mean...
To live.
I'm dying to live. I'm actually looking a lot at this Instagram. I think she has a TV show as well. Was it Cheap Irish Homes?
Oh, yes. That was on last night or something.
Heard about her.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's my parents bought a home which was just a derelict farm, like, and they did it up. So I'm obsessed with that kind of thing. And there is nothing like when you see pictures, really just unfiltered pictures of Ireland, and you just, I mean, yeah. I'm still only 37. I don't know what I'm going to do. To be honest with you, I'm like living at the moment. I could see something like this happening, this pandemic happening, and I haven't foreseen a future past this point, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, really, really. Anything that happens past this point is a surprise to me. So, you know.
So you kind of knew, you had a feeling that this thing was going to happen?
Well, I mean, yeah, like it's
you don't have the lotto numbers, do you, by any chance, no?
Yeah.
They're not going to help you right now.
No, I'm only joking. But seriously, really?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's written in it's history repeats itself. Countries are becoming increasingly we've got bad water, bad food. At the moment, we've poisonous. There's a lot of poison through what we ingest physically and mentally. There's a lot of bad stuff in there, and if that it keeps perpetuating, and then it leads. Where do you think you get bad leaders from? They come from bad people. Do you know what I mean? We propagate what we are, and that becomes. It's just kind of. It's like, well, I mean, what's capitalism going to lead to? That's going to lead to a lot of poverty. It
was like Mother Nature is trying to fix itself.
Yeah, that's the fever. Mother Nature, that's the raising. It feels like the raising of the temperature of the earth is when we have a fever. It's to get rid of a disease. Yeah. So, you know, I mean,
and it was like the end of, what was that movie?
Contagion.
War of the Worlds.
Oh, I didn't see it yet. With Brad Pitt, was it?
Yeah, War of the Worlds, and at the end, all of these big creatures that came to attack the planet all died because bacteria and viruses started killing them.
Jeez, we're gone very philosophical altogether.
Yes, it is. Jeez.
No, but it is true. You know, it is true. I think the reset button needs to be pressed on all of us, and I think that this time has allowed everybody across business, life, whatever, has given us all that time to have that breathing space and to think and to reimagine maybe themselves. I spoke with a lady there on Operation Transformation. Her name is Anne. Lovely, lovely lady. I'm her little Skype buddy. And she was telling me that, you know, she had gone so far in terms of her depression and anxiety. It's okay for me to talk about this because she talked about it on the show. But, you know, and that she just felt that, you know, herself personally, she needed a reset button, but she couldn't find it. And that maybe she's cocooning at home in North County Dublin, and maybe this is giving her the reset. And maybe all of us, I think maybe even the three of us here today, have maybe in some way pressed her own reset button.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, we'll leave you to it, Wallis.
It's wonderful. I love this, how we leave in that as well, because that's how life is at the moment. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Bye now.
Bye now. Mind yourself.
Life is long, but time is short.
Life is long, but that's the end.
That's it. Exactly. Sinead, that's it. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. And
I think we should end on an upbeat song of Wallis's choice.
All right. I was thinking of playing...
Jeez, you're fairly milking this one now, Tony, fair play.
I know. I have to. I gave her plenty of coverage when she released a CD.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Payback.
Oh, lads, I suppose I'll go...
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah.
Sing along with us.
I'll sing a quick version of To My Bones, maybe.
Lovely.
Oh, yes.
We're kissing the lips of strangers. We're hugging whoever next we meet. Oh, life, I love it to my bones. When everything's shut, we're listless. Take 'em home, I cook them dinners and sing. Oh, life, I love it to my bones. Dominoes and medicine to you, and who you in. Take a seat and let it grow. The world will love you. Woo! Elephants of memory, an alphabet of chemistry. All of these things have made me Roscoe. Meaning, laughter, no TV. I've got punchlines and fisticuffs and tons of love. I've got firesides and Dutch doors. There's no such thing as you all, and my fortune is my own. Oh, life, I love you to my bones. Woo!
You're up there. Amazing. Wallis, thank you. Thank you very much.
Choose.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Choose.
very much. Choose.
Feeling tank.
Thanks a million, gang.
That was
Thank
brilliant.
you.
We'll let you get back with your wonderfully relaxed German life now.
Thanks, gang. It's
Cheers.
That was a pleasure. That was a real pleasure.
Thanks a million. Have a good evening.
Talk to you soon.
Mind yourselves.
Thank
Mind
you.
yourselves.
Bye.
Big kisses to you all.
And
Bye.
to you.
Slán.
Slán. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
So, Tony, that was the long goodbye there, wasn't it?
Most definitely. We should have had Paul Brady in to sing for us.
I thought we got a lot out of it in terms of information. I think a lot of our listeners there that will be listening to that will get a great understanding of who Wallis Bird is and her journey to date, which is great. I really, really enjoyed it. Well, she's such a really nice, charismatic person, isn't she?
And she's a real person. There's no airs or graces to her.
No, I really like that. Just real, down to earth. A person, you could imagine you're sitting in a pub or a restaurant or whatever opposite her and you're just you're shooting the breeze basically. So, I really enjoyed that interview. And next week, coming up on the Kish, we have the amazing Cora Staunton, who's a personal friend of mine. Yeah, big name in ladies GA sports. She is the very first ever female athlete out of Ireland to get a contract with the AFLW in Australia. So we're going to be catching up with her in relation to her, I suppose, her career journey over in Australia. She also had a significant injury. So we talk about her coming back from injury and now being back in Carnacon again after another season in Australia. So really interesting interview. I really enjoyed it because I'm sports mad, but I think for anybody else listening out there, I think it's going to be gooding.
Looking forward to it. Don't forget, if you want to find out more about the Kish Podcast, just go to our website, thekishpodcast.com. Getting in there before she says it.
Or search for us on Facebook as well, the Kish Podcast, and we're also on Instagram and anything else really that moves. We're on nowadays. And I just want to say thank you very, very much for all of the downloads. The numbers again has been absolutely phenomenal for the first two podcasts featuring Sunita and then Chris last week. It's been great. We've got really, really fantastic names coming up over the next number of weeks. You got to stay tuned for them. Some of them, I was even shocked myself that we secured. So lots of various different topics.
I have a great bit of feedback here for you. Mm-hmm. I've been listening to your podcast, both on my runs this week. Solid work, very interesting. And I'm somebody who actually has no idea who these Irish sports people are. Very slick production.
Wow, who's that from? Your mum?
No. It's from a friend in England.
Oh, well, that's amazing.
Yeah, she's loving it. And I mean, it's great that you can have someone who has no idea who these guests are, just loves the podcast.
That is exactly.
And I don't even feature most of the time on those first two podcasts anyway. So it's even greater to hear that from her.
Yeah, definitely. And I suppose as well, the fact is the Kish podcast is all about interesting stories about people's lives. So it doesn't really matter what genre it's in, be it sport, be it business, be it politics, whatever. It's more so about the individual that we're interviewing. So as opposed to their main focus in their career or in their life. So yeah, so that's really interesting feedback and please keep them coming. And if you can at all, please review us. We'd be absolutely delighted if you would give us a review on Apple. Because that helps with the OWL algorithm. So there you go.
The OWL algorithm.
That's it, the OWL algorithm. That's a Mayo term.
Emer will be able to feed her algorithm this week.
So Tony, until next week.
Stay safe and remember, stay indoors if you can.
No bother, Leo. We'll do that. Good luck.
Goodbye.